You rock, my friends. You Rock podcast is for women like you who want to own your life and live an engaged and joyful life. Hosted by Dr. Aliyah Majid, mom of 3, devoted wife, and a scientist turned life coach on a mission to empower women to take control of their lives. In this podcast, we deliver tools, insights, and inspiration on rocking your own life, owning to your highest potential, and becoming the best version of you. Now, here's your host, Dr. Aliyah Majid.
There is a lot of advice online that we hear about when it comes to productivity, but some might not be the ones that are good for us. So how do we decide on what tips would work best and what not? Assalamualaikum and hello there. Welcome back again to my subscribers. And to those who are new here, I am Dr. Aliyah Majid, a mom of 3. I am a success and productivity coach on a mission to help overwhelmed ambitious women to conquer their limiting beliefs, overcome procrastination, and go after their life, the life of their dreams. Before we begin, take a second and hit that subscribe button so that you can quickly receive new updates from me when it goes live. So, back to today's topic. Does multitasking improve your productivity? Now, here's the thing. If you have known me longer than the 10 seconds that we are here, you know that early in this year, I graduated with my PhD in Japan. And I did that while also taking care of my 2 kids, and I was pregnant. And also, I was doing a part-time job as a research associate on the campus. So to say that I was always busy with deadlines it's not my thing. I don't like to be calling myself busy all the time. I don't like how we label being busy as a good thing. Busy with work, busy with kids, and sometimes by staying busy, it just feel unhealthy and it can be counterproductive sometimes. Therefore, instead of aiming to fill up every minute of your life with mindless, busy work, there's a better way to live, which is by living with purpose, priority, and passion. It's not easy, but it is doable. It is something that everyone should aim towards in this life. One step to start going into that direction of living with purpose, priority, and passion is by working lesser and smarter. Lesser and smarter, but not harder. Especially as you have been gaining more and more responsibilities throughout the years, having kids, becoming a more senior employee, taking that job offer, you'll maybe spinning more plates than what you have been used to. So before we head on to the myths when it comes to productivity advice, let's be clear on what's the definition of productivity. As being described by the Oxford Dictionary, productivity is the effectiveness of a productive effort. In other words, the ability to produce goods or any output in a lesser time. Therefore, being productive does not mean that you have to spend more time to get all of the things done. It is your ability to produce something well enough in a limited amount of time. So now we've got clear on the definition of productivity. I want to share some of the myths about productivity and being productive that has been popularized over the years. The productivity myth number 1: multitasking so that you can get more done all at once. I know this is not a piece of advice that is popular among moms, but trust me for a second now, as a mom of 3 kids, I know that multitasking hurts more than it does good. So as mom, we were always proud that we could multitask and do things much better than other people in the world. But don't get me wrong, I love all moms out there, I'm one of you. But the thing is that when it comes to multitasking, there are some places that you can do it. You can do your job better by multitask, but sometimes it just delay your time, and you kind of finish your task a little bit longer than it should take. So the way I multitask is by, for example, on the stove, I might have 2 pots cooking something, maybe some vegetables, and on another, I might be cooking some protein. And not to forget, I put something on the oven too. So all this done all at once. Okay, so did I also mention that sometimes I do this while also listening to an audiobook? So I want to get it all done fast, okay? So why am I saying not to multitask when I was also doing it? This has been a subject that I have been thinking about over and over again throughout my life, to multitask or not to multitask, and when does it okay to do it and when it is not. Then what I found is this simple thing. It's when I am having multi-focus is when things gets really unproductive. So then I made a clear boundaries on when it is acceptable to multitask and when it is better to single task, so that I don't have this multiple focus in whatever that I want to get done. I found that multitasking in my work towards achieving my goals is not acceptable at all. Stay away by all means. This is because this is the power hour. This is your source of energy. You must do your best in it. Be mindful. The most important thing, the golden ticket to success kind of activities that could bring me a step closer to my goals, this is when I make it my most effort in single tasking to have a maximum focus on it. So when I am doing activities such as writing for the blog, creating a course outline, writing emails to podcast guests, or even researching a content idea on the internet or whatever, I try to be more aware, mindful, and focus on what I want to get done during a certain period of time and really get that one thing done. It will actually take longer to finish all of this work if we keep on switching between tasks. For example, as you are writing your email, you might thought of a sentence, maybe a word came out. So you want to check on the internet whether the usage of your word is true or not, and then you start typing it and googling it, and while you are on the internet, you stumble upon a really interesting article. You start to click on it, and then on to another, and then on to another, and then email notification pop up, and you go back to your email, and this time this email is from a different person, and you start thinking about what to reply to that second email. It's tiring, right? So is this the way that you want to live throughout your life, a working life that you imagine to do for the rest of your life, switching between tasks, trying to juggling everything to do at once, and trying to finish whatever you are handed over and be reactive to all of these responses? And the worst thing happen is that when you are making this into a habit, you are training your mind into having a lesser and lesser attention span, Therefore, pay full attention to one task, put a time limit, and focus on just one task. Your ability to focus will increase over time if you attempt to complete just one task at a time. Studies show that media multitasking is less productive than doing a single thing at a time. The Stanford researchers who have done this study also found that people who are regularly bombarded with several streams of electronic information cannot pay attention. They cannot recall information or even switch from one task to another. They perform worse than those who complete one task at a time. This shows that multitasking negatively impacts our productivity. So, when is it acceptable to do multiple tasks at once? Because you might be wondering why you are good in multitasking, but why, quote unquote, productivity gurus like me always advise to stop multitasking. So here's what I found and live by. I found that when the tasks are similar and repetitive, because I have done them thousands of times, such as cooking or folding laundry, it is still acceptable to multitask, especially when you are cooking from the same recipe that you have done. You have cooked it thousands of times, or folding the laundry millions of times because you have so many kids. And you can do that. Like when you are closing your eyes, you can still do that. I know you can. But not in cooking. Okay, stop closing your eyes when you are cooking. But what I'm saying is that this task it has been imprinted in you. So subconsciously you have already know what is the next step after the previous step. So in this kind of repetitive tasks that you have done several times, and if you are like me, you are juggling several roles every day, you could use that time to squeeze in some learning by listening to an audiobook or whatever that you want to do. You maybe want to use that time to listen to some music to cheer you up and keep the energy at the end of the day. As for me, listening to an audiobook gets me going while doing mundane daily repetitive tasks. Or sometimes I just watch movies or something funny on the Netflix, some comedies, right? So this way, when I do this repetitive task, the task just gets done faster and I don't procrastinate in doing it, and it just done in the shorter amount of time instead of me putting it away because I just don't want to deal with them. So therefore, in this case, multitasking is not something that will be a problem, at least for me. And just remember that multitasking is when you are diverting your attention to some different focus. So it is related to your ability to focus on your just one single task. Okay, single tasking. Make sure you have focusing on just one thing at one time. So avoid multitasking, stay on single tasking, and be more productive. Okay guys, that's all for today. If you like this episode, come and share your thoughts with me on Instagram. The handle is at aliyah.majid, ALIAH.MAJID, aliyah.majid, and share what's your biggest takeaway in this episode and whatever your thoughts or experiences on multitasking. Assalamualaikum. Hi guys, if you haven't followed me already, follow me at my Instagram alia.majid or Facebook Dr. Alia Majid. And also hop on to my website draliamajid.com, and you can see there's lots of tips and tricks on productivity, inspiration stories, and so on that I want to share with you guys so that you can go after the life you want. Bye bye.